Top 3 stories that sound fake, but are 100% real, part 10 by the homie Mrballen. What's good? How you day going? Morning, evening, night, whenever you're watching this video. We're gonna talk a little bit of ish. You're gonna start the video. You can fast forward it if you want, whatever, right? Okay. The topic itself. Not speaking of any story in this video or any of the videos with the same topic, whereas the truth is stranger than fiction. That topic, scary, my bad, scary and so freaking fire to me. Let me tell you why. We talked about it before. Look, let's say you walking down the street, right? Dead body, boom, you clip over. Oh snap, your hand rolling the blood and everything. Like, oh damn, what the hell going on? You get up. Like, do you legit call like, yo, I just stumbled across a dead body and I fell on it and all the blood on me right now? Bullshit. Do you call them and tell them that, or do you just get the hell on? Like I've been in situations not like that. I've been in situations before where it's like, I'm sorry, but I gotta lie to you because if I tell you the truth, you would not believe not a lick of it. So that topic is really freaking scary to me because it's like, dude, this can go left in so many ways. Look, I just wanted to talk a little bit of ish with y'all, then go get to the video. All right, my bad. Look, either way, go. You want to check out the original video? Link will be in the description below, but let's go. My bad. That was my floor. I did not fart. So you just gonna tell me you fell on dog. Yeah, Judge.
Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction, and today we're going to look at 3 stories that demonstrate that. But before we get into those stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you come to the right channel because that's all we do, and we upload 3 or 4 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, please secretly use the like button's toothbrush to clean a dog's teeth, and then just put the brush back. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's stories. In 1956, the SS Andrea Doria, which was a beautiful ocean liner, was considered to be Italy's largest, fastest, and safest ship. But those things would not be what this ship was remembered for. On July 25th of that year, the ship was sailing towards the east coast of the United States when it ran into some very heavy fog. And so, following procedure, the captain slowed the vessel down and turned on their fog whistle. A little while later, another vessel, the Swedish ocean liner called the SS Stockholm, entered the fog as well, but they were unaware of Andrea Doria's position. Now, both vessels were using radar, but unfortunately, both vessels misinterpreted what they were seeing, and so neither of them communicated with the other as they careened towards each other. When visual contact was finally made between the 2 ships, it was too late. A collision was imminent. At 11:10 p.m. that night, the bow of the Stockholm plowed directly into the side of the Andrea Doria, penetrating over 40 feet inside the ship before coming back out again. The impact killed 46 people on the Andrea Doria and 5 people on the Stockholm. When the story broke, every major news outlet around the world picked it up, including ABC News in the United States. And the news correspondent that they chose to cover this story was a man named Edward Morgan. And unbeknownst to his co-workers, his 14-year-old daughter, Linda Morgan, was on board the Andrea Doria, and just before he went on, he was informed that she was amongst the missing and presumed dead, and there was virtually nothing he could do but wait for more information. And so despite his incredible burden, Edward still went on the air and reported the story without ever losing his composure and without ever mentioning his daughter. But after he got off the air, another story began to develop about the crash. Apparently, a girl who was asleep in one of the rooms on the Andrea Doria that experienced a direct hit from the Stockholm woke up after the crash and didn't know where she was, and she began yelling out for her mother. Meanwhile, a man on board the Stockholm heard the girl's cries, and he ran towards the front of the Stockholm, which is where he heard these cries coming from, and when he got up there, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Perched on the destroyed bow of the Stockholm was a bed, and on that bed was a relatively unhurt 14-year-old girl named Linda Morgan. It would turn out when the Stockholm penetrated into the Andrea Doria, the bow of the Stockholm scooped the bed Linda Morgan was on up and kind of dragged her into the ship, and then when it retracted out of the Andrea Doria, it brought that bed and Linda Morgan with it. When Edward...
Imagine sleeping on that shit and your whole bed just rise up. Man, alive, good. Dang, but what are the odds of this happening? It's 2 what are the odds of these happening type of moments, my bad. For one, I don't know, maybe this is pretty common, but what are the odds of boats crashing, dude? Because it ain't like This could be my ignorance showing. I don't know. I don't drive boats, dog. But it ain't hella boats in the water. So, like, damn, what's the odds of happening? You know, on top of that, like, what's the odds of me having to do the news on this? And, yo, my daughter was on it. Man, I don't know how he kept his composure. I could have not done that. Damn.
Out of the Andrea Doria, it brought that bed and Linda Morgan with it. When Edward Morgan found out that his daughter was the so-called miracle girl, he was overcome with emotions, and he would go back on the air, and this time he would talk about his daughter and her incredible survival story, and he would also talk about how hard it was to deliver the news when it was about someone he loved. Linda would make a full physical recovery. She only suffered from a broken arm, but she would suffer enormously from survivor's guilt, as her stepfather and her half-sister were both killed in the crash.
Damn. Thought we was gonna end on a good note right there. I thought we was gonna call it right there. All right, broken arm. I was like, I'll take that. Damn, man. Survivor's guilt. That is, oh God, I just watched a movie on that too, and never experienced it. But I can legit see that being a thing. I can see how that's possible, man. Like, cause the whole time you would constantly just blame yourself. Like, we had to talk before. We're gonna talk long about it. I blame myself so many times for my mom's death. So I don't care what you say. I have valid reason. I blame myself so many times over and over and over. So if I was legit in her presence when it happened, not even in her presence, but if I was, I'm picturing like if it was like if I was in her presence and that happened, I think it probably would have really been survivor's guilt. The fact that it happened over the phone, it could be a little iffy for me, but I'm not gonna lie, I do blame myself. I thought we was gonna end on a broken arm, man.
From survivor's guilt, as her stepfather and her half-sister were both killed in the crash.
Damn, rest in peace.
On April 27, 1997, a farmer in Indonesia was walking his livestock through a thick sugarcane field near his house when he tripped on something. After he regained his balance and looked down, he noticed a strange mound of dirt that seemed totally out of place. He wanted to dig it up just out of curiosity, but he wasn't on his property, so instead he walked back to the village and he told the village leader about this strange pile of dirt and suggested he see what's under it. So the village leader and some other men headed back out to the field. They find this dirt pile, and the first thing they do is they poke it with a stick. The stick went right into the pile. It was a soft pile of dirt, and when they pulled it out, this horrible stench filled the air that was coming out of this mound. Worried about what they might find underneath this pile, the men decide to leave it alone and go back to the village and tell authorities about it, and the authorities promptly tell them to go back out there and uncover this thing and tell them what they find. And so the village leader and some more men...
Wait, the authorities told them to do that? Hell, no, that's your job, dog. Hell no, I ain't going back out there. And see, look, and what I was thinking was the fact that he poked it. Well, I'm like, what if they twisted? Like, I don't know, dog. We gonna let it play.
Alone and go back to the village and tell authorities about it, and the authorities promptly tell them to go back out there and uncover this thing and tell them what they find. And so the village leader and some more men head back out to the field and they start digging. And pretty quickly their shovels strike something that's fairly soft inside of this mound. And so after delicately removing some more dirt, they discover a woman's face is looking right back at them. It appeared she'd been buried up to her neck, and then someone had just thrown dirt on top of her head. At this point, the authorities did come out, and they were able to identify the body as belonging to a 21-year-old local woman named Dewey. After asking around the village about this girl, the police determined the last time anyone had seen her was 3 days earlier when she had left her house to run an errand. But after that, no one knew what happened to her. Just a few hours after Dewey's discovery, a 15-year-old rickshaw driver came to the police with additional information. He said 3 days earlier, on the evening of April 24th, so the same day that people had seen Dewey last, he said she had come to him to ask for a ride. And when she got into the rickshaw, he asked where she wanted to go, and she said she did not want to tell him specifically where she was going. Instead, she just wanted him to drive in a particular direction, and she would give him more information about how to get where she wanted to go as they got closer. And so this really intrigued the driver. And so after he began going in this direction, he turned to her again and said,
like as if she don't want him to remember the location or to be able to remember the location. It's like, no, when we get to a point, I'll let you know the next one. Damn. And stuff like that always get a little iffy to me when it comes to like true crime, because I don't know what's going on here. But when it's like the person before they left, where it's like even the paper trail they left behind at the end, it's like some things were kind of iffy. Not blaming her for her own death, but what I'm saying is like it's crazy how stuff falling in place like that. Where it's like, but this looked like this happened. This looked like this. I don't know. Did you know this? It's like, damn. My bad. This is kind of taking me into true crime mode a little bit.
Information about how to get where she wanted to go as they got closer. And so this really intrigued the driver. And so after he began going in this direction, he turned to her again and said, can you tell me anything more about where we're going? This is really weird that you're not giving me any more information. And so finally, Dewey relented and she told him she was going to see the shaman. A shaman, in simple terms, is someone who uses magic to cure the sick. The driver did think it was odd that this girl was going to see the shaman in the middle of the night and she was being so secretive about it, but after he dropped her off, he hadn't given it much thought until he found out she had died. The police approached the shaman, who was 45-year-old Ahmad Siraji, and they asked him if he had been with Dewey on the night of April 24th. Initially, Siraji said no, he had not been with her, and he had no idea what happened to her. But after police searched his house and found Dewey's belongings inside, Siraji said, okay, I've been lying and I have a confession to make.
No shit.
And he would very nonchalantly tell police that not only had he killed Dewey, he had also killed dozens of other women the same way and buried them in the sugarcane field. And so the police went out to the field and started looking around, and they found all these mounds of dirt all over the place, and under them were women buried up to their neck. Damn. After the excavation was all done, the police believed they found the bodies of 42 different women, but truthfully, that was just a guess. They believed there could be more. During his trial, Siraji explained in detail why he did the things he did. He said back in 1986...
Is this on trial or is this like a picture like in church? I don't know where it's at for real. But is this on trial? Yeah, SpongeBob T.
Explained in detail why he did the things he did. He said back in 1986, so 11 years earlier, he had this vivid dream where his deceased father came to him and instructed him to drink the saliva of 70 women. And if he did that, he would become immortal. When Siraji woke up, he didn't chalk up this experience as just a strange dream. He believed he had just had a real interaction with the spirit of his dead father, and so he decided he would do as he was told. But
I told you, since my mom passed, I want to have that dream where it felt like, oh, I see you right here. I told you I had that dream where it felt like I talked to her once, but not about that though. But I'm not gonna lie though. If let's say I do have that dream, boom, I had that dream tonight, I don't know, and it legit feel like I can see my mom and we talking, and she be like, you gotta go drink the spit of 72 dogs or something like that, and you be immortal. Love you. But I'm gonna tell you, hell no. In the dream world or spirit, however you hear, I'm gonna tell you, hell no. The hell wrong with your ass? You take your ass back to heaven with that shit. All I'm saying is I do feel like he about to play the crazy card. I don't think it's about to be really like one of them Nick Crowley type stories where it's like, brain just check out. I don't think it's about to be that. I think this is one of the ones where somebody playing the crazy card. I'm gonna let it finish though.
Women, and if he did that, he would become immortal. When Siraji woke up, he didn't chalk up this experience as just a strange dream. He believed he had just had a real interaction with the spirit of his dead father, and so he decided he would do as he was told. But his father didn't explain to him how he was going to extract the saliva from these 70 women. And so after thinking about it for a couple of days, Siraji decided the most efficient way to do it would be to just kill the women and then forcibly take their saliva. To find his victims, Siraji began telling people in his village that he had supernatural powers, that he was able to grant women specifically everlasting beauty and riches. And many people believed it. And so as this rumor spread not only around his village, but to surrounding areas, lots of women heard about it and came to him and requested his services. He would tell them to come back later that night when it was totally dark and to not tell anyone where they were going. Once they arrived, they would come inside of Siraji's house and they would pay him a fee that was roughly equivalent to $300. And then he would tell them he needed to perform a ritual to give them their beauty and their riches. And so they would leave his house, they would cut through a cemetery, and they would enter into that sugarcane field, and they would walk for a while until Siraji stopped them, and he would hand the woman a...
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who I'm mad at. I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. I'm keeping it 100 with you. The fact, oh gosh, man. It's crazy how easy it is for people to take over people's mental, dog. Dang, especially when it's like material shit. Where it's like, damn, you so trapped and you don't even know it. Somebody legit told you, like, I'm gonna grant you forever beauty and riches. And that's all that matters to you. Like, all right, I'm gonna meet up with you. Ah, dog, come on, man. Definitely rest in peace to those women. It definitely is.
into that sugarcane field, and they would walk for a while until Siraji stopped them, and he would hand the woman a shovel, and he would tell her to dig a hole in the ground, and he would assure her this is part of the ritual. And so he would stand there as she dug the hole until it was about waist deep, and then he would tell her to get in the hole and put her hands by her side. If she was at all nervous, he would just reassure her again that this is all part of the ritual, that lots of people have done this before, that it's totally safe. And so she'd get in the hole, she'd put her hands by her side, Siraji would take the shovel and he would fill the hole back in until she was completely immobilized. And then at this point, Siraji would pull out a cable, he would wrap it around their neck, and he would strangle them to death. And once they were dead, he would pull their body out of the hole, and then he would forcibly extract their saliva. And then after that, he would take the shovel again and dig the hole a little bit deeper, and then he would put the body back inside the hole, making sure their head was still sticking out of the ground. And he would orient them so their face was looking towards his house, because he believed having these women constantly looking at him at all hours of the day gave him more power. He said as for Dewi, when she first came to his house and she had paid that fee, she was worried about leaving and going and doing this ritual. It scared her. And so Siraji told her to wait, and he went into the other room where his wife was, and he told her that, hey, I'm gonna go kill this girl and I need your help. I need you to calm her down. And his wife, who had no idea her husband was a mass murderer, just immediately went along with it. She came back into the room and she assured Dewi that everything was totally fine. They had done this before. It was all going to be perfectly safe. And she even said...
Wait. Let me go back real quick. I edited it out. I probably won't. I've been being lazy lately. Hold up.
Worried about leaving and going and doing this ritual. It scared her. And so Siraji told her to wait, and he went into the other room where his wife was, and he told her that, hey, I'm gonna go kill this girl and I need your help. I need you to calm her down. And his wife, who had no idea her husband was a mass murderer, just immediately went along with it. She came back into the room and she assured Dewi that everything was totally fine. They had done this before. It was all gonna be perfectly safe. And she even said she would come with them to do this ritual. And so at this, Dewi was much more calm and she agreed to go. And so the trio left the house, they went through the cemetery, out to the field, and then only 2 people came back. Siraji was executed in 2008 by firing squad, and his wife was sentenced to life in prison.
Damn, don't mess with Doug.
Around midnight on September 3rd, 1986, Doug Wells and his wife Kristen were pulling onto their street in western Montana when they noticed a camper parked in front of their house. Neither of them recognized the camper, and so when they pulled into their driveway, Doug got out and walked over and looked inside to see if anyone was in there. And there was a man sleeping in the front seat. Doug didn't wake him up. Instead, he went back to his wife, they talked about it, and they decided that this man must have just randomly parked in front of their house, and that most likely the next day he would leave. And so the couple went inside their house and they began getting ready for bed. At some point, Doug rounded up all the trash inside of the house and was going to bring it outside to put into the trash bin. And when he went outside, standing in his front lawn is the same guy who was just sleeping inside of the camper. And so Doug very cautiously goes down the front steps and he yells out to this guy and says, what are you doing here? And immediately the man put his hands up and said he meant no harm. He said his name was Wayne Nance, and he actually worked with Doug's wife, Kristen, at the furniture store in town. Wayne went on to say that he happened to be driving down their street earlier that day, and he spotted someone standing outside one of their windows looking in their house, and he knew it was Kristen's house, and he looked in their driveway and he saw that Kristen wasn't home and it looked like nobody was home. And so he decided he would just park out front and try to scare off this person and wait for Kristen to get back. But by the time Kristen got back, he had fallen asleep. Doug was totally caught off guard by this whole situation. The idea that there's this guy on his property talking about another guy that was lurking around his property. And so he asked Wayne, did you see this guy again after that first time you saw him? And Wayne said no, he hadn't, but he didn't have a flashlight. And so maybe if Doug went in the house and got some flashlights, the 2 of them could walk the property and make sure nobody was there. Doug thanked him for the offer and said, okay, well, why don't you come in the house and I'll go look for those flashlights. And so Doug led the way inside of his house, and as soon as Wayne got in the house and shut the front door behind him, he pulled out a metal pipe he was hiding and smashed Doug over the back of the head. Doug turned around and Wayne hit him again over the face, and before long, the 2 of them were struggling on the ground.
Doug is not going down. What the fuck? Boy, but come on, Doug. Doug, come on, man. Ain't no way I'd have believed that story and let you and walked out at night with nothing on me, knowing you parked the whole RV in front of my crib, a camper or whatever. And then talking about let's get some flashlights, look together. No. Shot the shot your ass.
Out of his house, and as soon as Wayne got in the house and shut the front door behind him, he pulled out a metal pipe he was hiding and smashed Doug over the back of the head. Doug turned around and Wayne hit him again over the face, and before long the two of them were struggling.
I know, Wayne, like, what the fuck?
Kristen, who was upstairs, heard the commotion, and she came running down the stairs, and she sees at the bottom her husband, who's bleeding profusely from his head. He's covering himself up on the ground, while Wayne, her co-worker, is standing over him, punching and kicking him. Before Kristen could do anything, Wayne noticed her up on the stairs, and he drew a pistol and aimed it at her and told her to come down here and tie up your husband's arms and legs. Kristen, who's in shock, is just hoping this was just a robbery and that they would have their lives spared. And so she does as she's told. She walks down, Wayne throws her some cord, she ties up her husband's arms and legs, and then afterwards, Wayne leads Kristen back upstairs to the bedroom where he ties her up as well. After that, Wayne went back down to the main floor where Doug was still laying on the ground, and he grabbed Doug by the legs and he pulled him down the flight of stairs to the basement where he tied him up to a pole. And then he savagely beat him with the pipe before Wayne pulled out an 8-inch blade and plunged it directly into Doug's chest all the way in. And then when he pulled it out again, Doug slumped over. Wayne went back upstairs all the way to the second floor to check on Kristen, and he saw she had managed to get partially out of her restraints and she was reaching for the landline, and so he jumped on top of her and managed to restrain her all over again. And then after he was confident in her restraints, he went back downstairs to make sure Doug was dead. When he got down there, he saw Doug was still slouched over in the same position he had left him, and so Wayne assumed Doug must be dead, and Wayne went back upstairs to assault Kristen. But Wayne was...
Mrballen said he assumed. Because I ain't gonna lie, from getting hit with that 2 or 3 times and not dying,
wrong. Doug wasn't dead. And Wayne went back upstairs to assault Kristen. But Wayne was wrong. Doug wasn't dead. And after Wayne went upstairs that second time, Doug, despite his horrific head and chest injuries, managed to wriggle out of his restraints and then hobbled over to a workbench where he had a rifle laying out because Doug was actually a gunsmith. And so he took the rifle and he loaded it with the one round he found on the table. And then he walked over to the base of the stairs, he raised his rifle, and he made his way up to the main floor. He didn't come in contact with Wayne, and he looked around the first floor, he didn't see him, and he heard his wife screaming upstairs. And so he made his way to the next set of stairs and began walking up with his rifle raised. At the top of the stairs to the second floor, there was a hallway that ran right and left out of sight. And so as Doug is making his way up, he can hear off to the left, out of view, his wife screaming in the bedroom, and he can hear the sound of very heavy footsteps running down the hall towards the landing where he is.
Don't pop your wife,
so Doug positioned himself in the stairwell, he took aim about chest height with his rifle, and he waited for their attacker to show himself. And so as soon as Wayne came flying around the corner with his knife in his hand, Doug just fired one shot that struck him right in the stomach. Wayne fell backwards, totally shocked at what had just happened. He began to stagger, and Doug, meanwhile, turned his rifle around like a baseball bat because he didn't have any more rounds, and he just starts walking down the hall, smashing Wayne as Wayne continues to stumble and fall and try to run away from Doug. And finally, he gets away from Doug, charges into the bedroom.
See? That's why you can't be doing that little movie shit. I behave when they do it. My bad, calm down. I'm liking this. Oh, come on, Mrballen. Don't let this story turn on me. That's why we talked about this before. Slow down. I hate in movies when they like that. They come up behind them. Psst, hey, buddy. And I'm like, no, you ain't got to do that. He don't see you. Just bah, bah, bah. Pop, dog. Get this over with. Bah, bah, bah. Come on, make sure you did. Shit, man. Bah, bah, be sad. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. I thought it was about to be one of them stories. Man, my heart was going. I was like, nope. The whole time, that's his wife running. And so she hit the corner. Boom, he gonna get her. Damn, that's what I thought was gonna happen, dog. Entrepot Negro.
And he just starts walking down the hall, smashing Wayne as Wayne continues to stumble and fall and try to run away from Doug. And finally, he gets away from Doug, charges into the bedroom where Kristen is, and he grabs his pistol, and he turns around and he fires 3 shots towards the door where Doug is now standing. And Doug, he's unfazed. 1 round hits him in the leg, the other 2 miss. He doesn't care. He just walks up to Wayne and begins bashing his head in with the back of this rifle. He hits him so many times that the buttstock of the rifle explodes and the metal of the rifle bends like an L. And at some point, Wayne drops the gun because he's getting viciously beat.
Boy, you know you broke into the wrong house. Like, I done shot Dog 3. My bad, high pitched as hell. I done shot Dog 3 times. I forgot. He said 1 or twice a minute. I done beat Dog with them things are heavy. I don't know what they call. I forgot. Bro, you cracked Dog. Boom. He turned. Oh shit. Boom. Oh, oh shit! I just ran back out the door like, dog, I can't die here, dog. I can't do this. I ain't gonna lie though. I do want to end this story like right here, man, because there's 2 minutes left, and I know it's a Mrballen story. Yeah, we usually don't get those superhero stories. I thought I got it on the first one. I was like, all right, broken armor, I'll take that. But nah, it went left on me. But I'm not gonna lie. So far, I don't care. Doug is a hero in my book, dog. I do not care. Dog is savage. He's one of the Avengers. I mean, you heard what happened to him. No more stopping, though.
He hits him so many times that the buttstock of the rifle explodes and the metal of the rifle bends like an L. And at some point, Wayne drops the gun because he's getting viciously beaten on by Doug and his rifle. And Doug sees that, he grabs the pistol, and he fires the remaining rounds into Wayne's head. Police and paramedics would show up shortly thereafter, and Doug, Kristen, and their attacker Wayne were all rushed to the hospital. Doug and Kristen would make full recoveries. As for Wayne, he would die the following day from his injuries. After the incident, the police investigated Wayne Nance to see who this guy was, and they discovered that almost certainly he had been a serial killer that was connected to at least 6 cold case murders from 1974 to 1986. But because Wayne never confessed to any of these murders before he died, the true number of people he killed is still unknown. So that's going to do it, guys. If you found the secret in today's episode, let us know in the comments what it is and where you found it. If you're the first to do that, we'll pin you at the top of the comments section.
I needed that. I really needed that one at the end. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. And I kinda knew I was gonna get it because the title of the video is "Sounds Fake but 100% Real." So I was like, all right, hold up. So more than likely, I was like, these people gonna sound like they be about to, you know what, F with the D on it, but they gonna survive because it's gonna sound hella fake. But it was making some turns, dude, when it was like, like the part when it was like he was down there and he tied him up and he hit him in the basement and everything, and he stabbed him. I was like, dang, yup, he done. But it, excuse me, but I started noticing the words Mrballen was using. So I'm like, okay, put 2 and 2 together. Let me slow down. My bad. I am so freaking excited from this one, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had to get some water. Had to slow down a bit. So I ain't gonna lie. When he stabbed on that part, I was like, yup, he's out of there. But I started noticing the words Mrballen was using, like assume. I was like, okay, yeah, because I remember the title of the video. So when he got up and he got his gun, I was like, no, but what's about to happen? I already told you what I thought was about to happen. Like, the wife's gonna hit the corner. Damn, I thought that was gonna get ugly. But it didn't. He got dog. I was like, all right, now he beating him with the butt of the gun, whatever. I'm like, okay, this is fire. I'm loving this. I was like, but he gonna get to his damn gun. Something gonna happen where he gonna get up and get to it. And didn't make that twist. We heard the damn story. We know how it went. Basically, it was making some turns. It was legit like a roller coaster because it was like the only thing that was holding me on the high, because I was like, I was smoking cookie. The only thing that was holding me on the high end of the roller coaster is because of the title of the damn video. So I'm like, look, this is about to be some superhero-ish. I was hoping. I was legit hoping. I was like, don't let nothing happen to the wife. Do not let nothing happen to the wife. And it sounded like Doug was not about to let that happen. Look. We heard the story. This one was hella good is all I'm trying to say. Top freaking tier, man. Yo, definitely in the first story as well. I want to say rest in peace to her family as well, man. That one, damn. The whole, you just, they was calling her a miracle, baby. I see why. Like, you legit sleep in the bed and a whole nother ship hit. But as it hit, boom, it lift you up. I was like, what the hell is going on here? And again, that title, I was like, yup. We're gonna be good though, because that's the title of the video. And I was like, broken arm. I was like, she got a broken arm. We'll take that. But then it was like, psh, that one kind of hit me. Like, ooh, wasn't expecting that. Second one, not gonna lie to you, is rest in peace to them. But you know we gotta talk our shit over here. You ain't gotta agree with everything I say. You ain't gotta disagree. Whatever. You can be neutral. Whatever. You got your opinion though. I'll never block you in your comments for having your opinion. But second one, I'm not gonna lie. Me personally, that one, it got to. At first, I was feeling bad, but then I was like, kind of what we talked about. I was like, kind of, when you hear their last moments, the little trail they left behind at the end, it's like, wait, but this really seems a little, I don't know. And again, I know everybody move different, everybody think different, everybody, it's different perspectives for everyone. So I get it. It's some ish that I'll probably fall for that. You'll look at like, man, I can't see how he felt for that. I'm not trying to use hindsight or anything, but it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, it was mostly you're chasing after material shit and shit that you shouldn't even really be chasing in this life anyway. And I get it. A lot of people don't know that. That's the problem when it comes to that shit. Look, we ain't gonna get to talking our personal shit, though. Look, I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here, man. If you enjoyed the video, go and click that like button. I appreciate it. Click the sub button, turn that bell on, all that good stuff. Enjoy your day, morning, night, evening, whenever you're watching this. But I'm out.